Good morning, students. Welcome to second session. In previous class, we covered introduction to control systems. There we studied what is control system, why we use control system, and where we use control system. Okay, you are already familiar with basic these 3 points. What is control system? If any system is there, and if you want to control the output of that system using the input, that is control system, right? Anything which is in under your control, that is control system only. For example, you can take ISL Engineering College only. So ISL Engineering College, it is one system. So here everything is controlled by our chairman sir. Okay, everything is in his control, right? So how college is performance of the college, everything is under the chairman sir control. So this is also one control system. Input is chairman sir, output is performance. So everything is in his control. If there is any changes in the output, that can be corrected by the input. Same goes with the same goes with the car also. Okay, you are driving a car is a control system. You are driving and you want to have the control over the car. Okay, your aim is to control the car should be in your control. You want to increase the speed, that should be in your control. You want to decrease the speed, that also should be in your control. So any device which you want be in your control, so that defines your control system, right? So anything to control, we need controllers. Okay, to control the output using the input, we need some controllers. So using the controllers only we can control the output. So we have to design the controllers. So to develop the controllers, we have to first develop one model. Then we have to analyze that model, how it is performing under different conditions. Then we finally design the model. So the develop, analyze and design. Then only we will get one control system, right? So this is all only we are going to study in this subject. This linear control system subject is all about these 3 things only. How to develop a system, how to analyze the system, and how to design the system to control. So control system, in the name itself you have answer. System you already know, it is interconnection of so many components connected to form one group. So that system, control system means if you are controlling this system, then it is called control system. How you are controlling this system using this? To control the systems, we have to generate the controllers. To control this system, we need converters. To control the system, we need converters. So control the system, we need controllers. To control the system, we need controllers. So these controllers we are designing or we are manufacturing with the help of these 3 processes. To generate the controllers, it has to undergo these 3 processes: develop, analyze, design. So all these 3 develop techniques or procedures only we are going to study in this subject. So understood what is this control system subject is all about. So to generate, to divide, to develop, to design and to analyze. So how to analyze, how to generate, how to design and how to develop a model is all about this course, linear control systems. Okay. So now let us come to the syllabus. What are the different topics we are going to cover in this linear control system? Okay, what are the different concepts we study? What are the different chapters we study? What are the different techniques we are using in this? Okay, how those all we are adapting to the practical applications, how we are using those all into the practical applications, those all will study. So this control system is having 5 units. Okay, in first unit we will be studying about introduction, that we are starting today. Okay, in the introduction part we will be studying what is control system, what are the types of the control systems are there, what is open loop, what is closed loop, what is transfer function, then what is Laplace transformation. There are some techniques are there, mathematical, how to generate a mathematical model. There are some techniques are there, block diagram reductions are there, signal flow graphs are there. So these all we study in this introduction part. Then next you have in the second unit we will be studying about, second unit is all about time response. Okay, second unit is all about time response. In time response analysis, you will be studying about some test signals. There are some signals are there, you will be studying about that. What is ramp signal, what is step signal, what is impulse signal. So these all signals you are going to study in this unit. Along with this, you will be studying about the differential equations, first order differential equations, second order differential equations, how first order, second order equations are represented in time domain, time response of first order, time response of second order. So these all you are going to study in the second unit. Okay, then third unit is all about stability analysis. Third unit is all about stability analysis, right? So in this subject, this unit is very, very important and very interesting unit. Okay, this unit is very interesting and as well as important also. Whole control system concept, whole control system subject is based on this concept only. So try to understand this concept very well. Okay, so here in this stability analysis, we will be studying about, first of all, what is stability, what are the types of the stabilities are there, how to achieve the stability in the system, what are the ways are there to get the stability of the system, different techniques we will study RH criteria. Then one more important thing is root locus. So root locus is very, very important and interesting. From exam point of view, it is very, very important. One question will be there for sure, either 8 marks or 10 marks, one question will be there, root locus. So there are certain steps are there how to draw the root locus of any system. In the exam they will be giving you one transfer function, find the root locus of this transfer function they will give you, then we have to use those methods, then we have to draw the root locus of the transfer function. So here poles concept, zeros concepts comes into picture. What is pole you will study, what is zero you will study. Okay, these are the things you will study in the third unit. Then next unit is frequency response. Second unit you will study time response, where all the signals, all the parameters are in time domain. So here we will study frequency response domain analysis. Okay, so in this everything will be in frequency domain, all the parameters will study in frequency domain. In the introduction class only I told you how to convert time domain into frequency domain. Okay, how to convert frequency domain into time domain. So one important tool we use in the control system to change the parameters from one domain to another domain, that is Laplace transformation. So Laplace transformation is a tool which is used to convert time domain into frequency domain, right? That all will cover in the first unit. Okay, then in this chapter we will be studying Bode plots, what exactly Bode plots are, how the Bode plots are drawn. To draw the Bode plots, what are the important points we should know, we should have. Okay, what is phase margin, what is gain margin, these all will study under Bode plots. One more important technique, Nyquist plot, how to draw the Nyquist plot, what is the main purpose of drawing the Nyquist plot, what we come to know, those all also will study in the fourth unit. Okay, then last topic is part of the advanced control system. So your linear control system subject is designed in such a way that basic control system we will study, along with that some part of the advanced control system also you will study in this. Some part of the advanced control system is also added in this syllabus. So this is the advantages you have in linear control system. These four units are part of basic control systems. Along with that you will be studying advanced control system, one topic related to advanced control system. So that is state space model. Okay, state space model, right? So any control system can be represented in two models. One is transfer function model, another one is state space model. Transfer function model, these all four units comes under transfer function representation. This is advanced control systems representation, state space model. So in this chapter, in this unit you will be studying what is state, what is variable, what is state variable, what are the parameters are there to define state variables, then what is the state variable, then you will study what is steady state error, what is transient error, what is steady state response. So these all are things you will be going to study in the fifth unit. So this is about the syllabus. This is about the contents, overview of the contents of the units which we are going to study in this complete syllabus. Okay, so let us start with the syllabus, dear students. So first we will be starting with introduction part. So most of the introduction part I have already covered in the introduction class. So further that we'll see here, we'll start the actual, what is control system, you already know, right? Okay. So control system is nothing but system. Any system is there. For the system you will be having one input and you will be having one output. So here in control systems, input signal is represented with R of t, output signal will be represented with C of t. Okay. So we will give the input, we will get the output. Control system is an interconnection of various number of electrical parameters. All those parameters you assume that inside the system only. So various, it is a system basically where number of physical components are connected together in such a way that we have to regulate command, or we have to direct the system or output in our requirement. Okay, so control system is a system where number of physical equipments are connected in such a manner so as to regulate, direct or command the system itself or other system. Okay, you want to command other system or you have to command of your own self system. Okay, so that is nothing but generally a system. Thing is, output should be in your control. So that is, output should be controlled by input only. To control the output by input, we design some controllers. Those all will be inside the system only. So this is about the control system. So control system is classified into, based on its property, it is based on its definition, it is classified into two types. One is open loop, another one is closed loop. One is open loop control system, another one is closed loop control system, right? So in open loop, what is open loop control system? What is closed loop control system? See here. What is open loop? What is closed loop? So this is, I am drawing here open loop control system. This is how to represent the open loop control system. What is the definition of control system? See here. So this is actual output. So this is C of S, C of t. We will be giving input as reference input. We will be giving reference input. So this is controller and this is process. Right. So open loop control system is a system. Open loop control system is a system in which output is dependent on the input. Okay. This output will be dependent on the input. Whatever the input you will be giving, according to that you will get the output. Output can be desired output or cannot be a desired output. Okay. So that is important factor note we have to note down here. Open loop control system is a system where output is dependent on the input, but input is independent of the output. Output is dependent on the input, but input cannot be dependent on the output. Such systems are called as open loop control systems. For example, you can say toaster, okay, bread toasters, then you can say washing machine, right? So these all are the examples of open loop control systems. Best example is traffic lights. Okay, these are the examples of open loop control systems. So what is the function of traffic lights? It will work based on the time given, based on the time settings given to it. Input is time settings here. So you will adjust the traffic lights to timer. You will adjust the traffic lights to time settings. You will adjust to 30 seconds. For 30 seconds, for every 30 seconds, traffic lights operates irrespective of the output. So irrespective of the input. See here, input is 30 seconds. For example, you have adjusted one traffic signal system to 30 seconds. For 30 seconds red light should on and red light should off. So assume that you are going on the bike and you are across junction, there traffic light is on, okay, red signal is there and you are waiting for the signal to green. On the other where you are stopped, there you cannot see much traffic, only 1 or 2 members are there, even though it is showing the red light, because it cannot sense the output automatically, because such mechanism is not there. Whether traffic is there or not there, it will be showing red light for 30 seconds. Okay, that is why output will not be, input cannot be controlled, input cannot control the output. Okay, so output cannot be controlled by the input, but it depends on the input. 30 seconds is the input, red light, giving the red light is output. So that is in your, that is not in your control. According to time it will give the output. So this is one example of traffic lights. Another one is, you can say, washing machine. What is the function of the washing machine? Is a control system. It's a type of open loop control system. What is its function? Cleaning the clothes. So cleaning the clothes is output. Okay, quality of clean, how much, what is the quality of clean clothes, whether it is properly clean or semi clean or still dust only. So cleaning the clothes is output. So you are giving the input, you are giving the time settings. Okay, you are setting the washing machine to 30 minutes. So washing machine will perform its operation for about 30 seconds. After 30 seconds it will off. It will go off automatically. Now when after 30 minutes it will perform its operation, then it will go off. After 30 minutes, if you take off the cloths outside and you find that they may be completely clean or they may not be completely clean, but that quality of cleanness is not corrected by the input, not maintained by the input, not maintained by the device. So output is not in the control of the input, right? Output is dependent on the input, but you cannot change the output. You cannot get the required output in the open loop control system. So this is about open loop control system. So open loop control system is a system where output is dependent on the input, but input is independent of the output. If you want any changes in the output, you cannot do that with the help of the input. Such a system is called as open loop control systems, right? So it is having certain advantages. Open loop control system is having certain advantages. What are the advantages? They are very simple to operate. Hence, their construction is very simple. They are easy to operate, hence simple in constructions. When simple in constructions, easy to maintain. When easy to maintain, obviously more economical. Okay, so these are the various advantages. Simple in construction, easy to handle, easy to maintain, more economical, then stable also. As soon as you give the input, it reaches its stable state very easily or very fast also, you can say. For example, take example of light and switch. Okay, you are operating the bulb with the help of the switch. You switch on the switch, lights close. You will immediately get out. If you switch on the switch, fan starts rotating. So as soon as you give the input, immediately you are getting the output. So stable system is reaching the stable state in a very small fraction of time, in a very short span of time. So stable, more stable, immediately you are getting the output. Okay, so this is also one advantage. Stable stage, it reaches very early. Then likewise advantages, it is having some disadvantages also. See, disadvantages, it is not reliable at all. You cannot rely on the open loop control systems, because what is the definition of open loop? Output, you will get output, but if you want to get the desired output, it is not possible in open loop control systems. That is why if you don't get what exactly you want, you cannot rely on that, you cannot trust on that, right? So results are, you cannot trust on the results, you cannot trust on the output, you cannot trust on the performance. So hence it is not reliable. That is one disadvantage. One more disadvantage is why it is not reliable, because it is not giving a desired output. Why it is not giving desired output? Because it cannot handle the disturbances. It cannot handle the disturbances. Okay, it cannot handle the disturbances. For example, again take an example of ceiling fan. You switch on the fan starts rotating. After some time, fluctuation takes place. Okay, voltage fluctuations or short due to the short circuit, whatever it is, voltage fluctuations occurs means under those conditions what happens to the output? Output is speed. What happens to the speed of the fan? Speed of the fan gets variation. Speed reduces, or it can increases due to over voltage, it increases due to under voltage or short voltage, it will reduce. So output is getting variation due to the disturbances. So why it is happening? Because it is not handling the disturbance which is occurring due to the voltage fluctuations. So because of that output is disturbing, because of that you cannot get desired output, because of that you cannot rely on that. Okay, so they will not handle the disturbances. When they don't handle the disturbances, output is not accurate. So they do not produce accurate output, they do not generate the accurate outputs. So not accurate, less accurate you can say, not reliable, and cannot handle the disturbances. Okay, so to overcome these disadvantages, they have introduced closed loop control system, right? So what is closed loop control system? What is closed loop control system? You can see here, right? So closed loop controls, to overcome the open loop control system, we introduce closed loop control system. Closed loop control system is a system where input is dependent on the output and output is dependent on the controlling action. What is controlling action here? Again input only. Okay, so it is a system where input is dependent on the output. If there are any changes in the output, that can be controlled by the input. That is why input is dependent on the output. If you get desired output, until you get the desired output, you will be keep on controlling the input. Okay, so this is the concept of closed loop control system. In the open loop, it is not there, you cannot control the output with the help of the input. In the closed loop control system, output can be controlled by input. So how that output is controlled by input? That is with the help of one more element we use here, that is called as feedback. So we use feedback. Using the feedback signal, we control the output with the help of the input, right? This is the reference input you will give. This is the reference input. This is R of t, right? So reference input, what it will do? This is called as error detector. It plays major role in order to generate the required signal, desired output, right? So this is error detector. When we give reference input through error detector, it will go to the controller. What is the function of the controller? Controller controls the amount of the input given to it and it will generate the controlled signal. Controlled input it will generate, that is denoted with U of t. This controlled input, once we pass through the process, it will process that controlled input in order to get the desired output. Okay, in order to get the desired output. Now what is the role of feedback here? Understand. If we don't get the desired output, assume that our desired output is 1000 rpm. After giving input of 230 volt, assume that it's a motor, DC motor. We have given input as 230 volt and we have got the speed of 900 rpm. Just assume we got 900 rpm. But what is our desired output? 1000 rpm. So in that case, what we will do? What is the function of feedback here? This feedback signal will sense this actual output. If it is not desired, then what it will do? It will take that signal and gives back to the error detector, and this error detector, what it will do? It will compare this feedback signal with the reference signal. According to that, it will generate error signal, that is denoted with E of t. It will generate the error signal. That error signal again given to the controller. This controller again generates the controlled signal, and that control signal will pass through the processor in order to produce the desired output. After this also you are not getting, after that also you assume that, then what we will do? So okay, what we will do? Feedback will give this and it will compare with the input signal, in that case what we will do, we'll change the input voltage. Okay, what we will do, we'll do the analysis. After analysis we'll come to know that this error detector will tell that what is the amount of signal we have to give it to the controller in order to get the 1000 rpm. So we'll change the input here from 230 to 220 we change, or you can say 250 or 240, whatever change, whatever the required voltage we need to get this, we'll use that. So again we'll change the changes, we'll make the changes in the reference input, then that reference input compare with this, then we'll give it to the controller, then we'll get the required speed of the control system. This is how closed loop control system works here. So here what are the different types of components we are using? We are using R of t. R of t is reference input, E of t error signal, then U of t control signal, C of t output signal, then feedback signal we can see B of t, you can denote it with B of t. So feedback signal. So these many components we are using to define the closed loop control systems. So understood what is closed loop control system? Closed loop control system, output will be in your control and input is dependent on the output. Any changes in the input output takes place, that will be sensed by the feedback and that will give back the signal to the error detector, where it will compare the feedback signal with the reference signal. Then according to that it will check the error and correct the error. According to that it will generate the error signal. That error signal will pass to the controller. In that way we will get the desired output. What is the function of the feedback here? Function of the feedback is to detect the actual sense the actual output generated, compare it with the desired output, then generate the required error signal in order to get the desired output. So this is about closed loop control system. So a closed loop control system is having advantages of closed loop control system is, it is first of all it is more accurate, because this is like closed loop, it's closed path it is. So till we get the desired output, this cycle will be repeating. It will be sensing, then again it will comparing. This complete cycle will be repeating till we get the actual output, I mean exact output, desired output. So that is why this is more accurate, more reliable, okay. Then presence of feedback is there. It is an important advantage, presence of feedback. Then only these all things are possible, right? The main and one more important advantage is it can handle the disturbances. I will give you one example for this closed loop control system. The best example for closed loop control system is human being, or you can say human body. So I will explain you here what are the different types of these equipment, these different types of controllers, how related to human body. So it is brain. This you can consider as brain, and this you can consider as hands, and this you can consider as eyes, right? Our required output is reference input. What is our actual output? That we will be decided in input only. So reference position of apple, okay. Think that one apple is kept on the dining table. Its position is left side corner. On the left side corner of the dining table, one apple is kept, and you want to your output is to take that apple, right? So your desired output is desired position of apple. So desired position of apple. So this is your output. Desired position of the, you have to identify the desired position of the apple. To take that apple is your output. So what happens here? We will tell, system will give, you will notice that if you don't have the eyes and somebody comes and tells you that, somebody will give the instruction, take that apple which is kept on the dining table. If you are blind, what you will do, till you reach the exact position of the apple, you will just rotate your hands around the table till you get the exact position of the apple, or till you get the apple, or till you find the apple. Okay, if you are having eyes, what will, if you are having eyes, if you don't have the eyes, that is open loop control system. If you have the eyes, that is closed loop control system. So here eyes does the role of feedback here. Eyes does the role of feedback here. See what happens? Your eyes will tell that, oh, there at the left side corner of the dining table apple is kept. So your eyes will see that, senses that. Eyes will sense the position, and that sensor will send the signal to the brain. This is brain, send the signal to the brain, okay, that it is kept at that position, left side. Then that brain, what it will do, it will give the command to the hands. Once you see the apple through your eyes will sense that position, it will send the signal to the brain. Brain will get activated, and what brain will do, brain will immediately automatically activates the hand or commands the hand that move your hand towards that position to take the apple. So it will generate the control signal, brain will generate the control system. According to that your hands will move, according to that your hands will process, okay, then you will lift the apple. So this is how closed loop control system works. Understood? So this complete controller and process is nothing but controllers. These are called as controllers, right? So in our human body, brain and hands are controllers, eyes are feedback, okay. In everywhere in the device control systems, feedback are nothing but sensors, different sensors. Practical example, latest example for closed loop control system is air conditioner. So what is the function of the air conditioner? It will detect the room temperature automatically, and according to that it will adjust its temperature, okay. If outside the room temperature is more, sensor will sense that, according to that it will adjust the temperature, right. This is about the closed loop control system. So it is having so many advantages. I already told you, more reliable, hence you can get the desired output. It is accurate, reliable. Disadvantage is, you can see the construction, no? So complex construction is there, hence maintenance is very high since it is less economical, okay. Then one more thing is, stability is the major concern in the closed loop control system. To get the stability we have to put lot of effect, okay. This much feedback, it will check that signal, that will compare that with the actual desired. Then if you don't get the desired, again this cycle repeats, till we get the desired output. So process is lengthy, right. So stability is a concern here, but we'll get the stability concern, major concern. We have to put lot of effort, not like in open loop, immediately we'll get the stability of the system. So this is about the closed loop control system. I hope you understood. Then now we have come to know that what is open loop and what is closed loop control systems, okay. What is the role of feedback, what are the different types of examples of open loop and closed loop, what are the advantages and disadvantages. Then what is the comparison, how you compare open loop and closed loop, what are the similarities, what are the dissimilarities. See here, comparison of open loop and closed loop. Open loop, output is dependent on input. Output is dependent on input, but here input is dependent on output. This is one difference. Then it is simple construction, here complexity of the construction. Then more economical. This is more economical, this is less economical, we require more cost here. Then this is stable, and here we have to put effort to get the stability. To get the stability of the system, we have to put the effort. Important important part which distinguishes open loop and closed loop is feedback. Here feedback is absent. In open loop feedback is absent and in closed loop it is present. So these are the different types of comparisons between the open loop system and closed loop control system. Okay, with this we'll complete today's session. In the next class session we'll see what is feedback, what are the types of feedbacks, and what is transfer function, then what is Laplace transformation and all we'll see in the next session. Before signing off, what are the things we have covered here? I hope you all are understood. If you have any doubts, please ping me or write in the comment section so that I can come back to you. I hope everybody is understood. Then I'll be signing off. Bye.